This episode of Taste of the Valley has been brought to you by Fresno Distributing. And we're here with Steve Cloud. Steve, thanks so much for allowing us into the Fresno Distributing Test Kitchen.
Well, thank you very much for being here. I'd just like to say that Fresno Distributing was the first to have a showroom of appliances selling directly to the public back in 1946. And so we appreciate that on Blackstone between Highway 41 and Blackstone on McKinley. And folks, FresnoDistributing.com. Thank you.
Welcome to Taste of the Valley. I'm your host, Andreas Borges, and today we're at Erna's Elderberry House in Oakhurst, California, at the gateway to Yosemite. Today we're going to be learning about California European cooking and also going to be getting some unique cooking tips. Come join us. Hi, we're here with Gunnar Thompson, Executive Chef of Erna's Elderberry House. Thanks so much, Gunnar, for allowing us into your kitchen.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
So, Gunnar, I'm excited about our second dish that we're going to be making, which is the lamb loin in a olive and herb crust and with some white beans.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna take the lamb, which I've taken ahead of time. It's from a Central Valley producer. We're going to go ahead and crust the outside with some breadcrumbs. So the first step is, Andreas, if you wouldn't mind cracking an egg for me.
Oh, sure.
Put it in this little container. We're going to take one egg, add a couple tablespoons of Dijon mustard.
So 1 egg, Dijon mustard, whip that bad boy up.
That's right. Okay. Next step is we're going to take the lamb that we've already pre-seared, and we're going to paint a little bit of that on the top of the lamb. Just going to help make the breadcrumb mixture and olive mixture stick to the lamb.
Now, is it so you don't put it on the sides, you just put it on the top?
That's right. We just put it on the top.
One side.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to take it and dip it into the mixture of breadcrumbs and herbs.
Now, what is in that mixture? You mentioned herbs and olives.
Parsley, thyme, chives, some different mixed olives from our local olive producers, and it has a little bit of olive oil, and that's it.
Can I try it?
Sure, absolutely.
It's moist.
That's the olives give a little moistness to it.
Those are not the Greek olives. Where are those olives from again?
They're from Marcini Farms here. They have a
in the valley.
In the valley, yeah.
Oh, great!
Lovely Italian producer. So.
All right, so we got the lamb here in this nifty little skillet. What do we do with this?
Next, we're going to add it to our saute pan. We're going to heat up the saute pan. Add some oil. Make sure it gets nice and hot, and then we're going to just place them in the skillet. Let them start to brown up, and then we're going to go ahead and finish the dish in the oven.
So you put that in the oven, and what temperature you put that on?
Set the oven at about 375 degrees.
And how long are we expecting that to take?
It takes about 4 to 5 minutes.
Oh, 4 to 5 minutes.
It's a very lean cut of meat. It doesn't take very long at all to cook.
Nice. All right. Now, all right, let's see this final product, because I got to try this.
Sure, absolutely.
This is killing me.
Absolutely. Okay, we have a couple of sauces that we'll prepare to accompany this. Here's our lamb.
You can tell this is going to look
Go ahead
good.
and slice this.
Oh, but this is nicely done. Beautiful pink color, uniform.
We're going to put down our white beans, and then we're going to add our cooked chicories, and glaze with the balsamic vinegar.
You can smell the pungence from the vinegar.
Then we're going to add our lamb.
That is.
And just to enhance
But you're not done still.
No, just to enhance it, we're going to add a coulis made of fresh arugula. This is a lamb jus that was made with the bones from the actual lamb loin.
That is gorgeous.
That's the dish.
Visually, it's stunning. It is extremely attractive plating, but of course, it all comes down to taste.
That's
right.
right.
You
That's
know?
right.
I like the crust. Very, very smart that you seared it. Nice crunchiness to it. You can taste the herbs. Now the beans, I can already, the thyme. Firm beans. Let's see how sweet. The balsamic really brings out the chicory. Good. And this coulis, that's cool. Everybody always talks about, if you want a great meal, come to Erna's, and you'll never leave disappointed. The food's amazing.
Well, thank you for joining us. Our mission is to please all of our customers and to go ahead and go above and beyond their expectations.
Truly. Gunnar, thanks so much for taking the time and making these wonderful dishes with the soup and the lamb. It's really been a pleasure. Coming up, we're meeting Erna of Erna's Elderberry House. Welcome back to Taste of the Valley, and we're here with the proprietor of Erna's Elderberry House, Erna herself. Erna, thanks so much for inviting us over to the Elderberry House.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm glad you came.
Oh, and we have a wonderful meal that we prepared with Chef Gunnar. And now, how do we say to your health or cheers in German?
Prost.
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 Yes.
Now, of course, Erna, you're not from Germany. You are in fact Austrian.
Right. I'm Viennese, but we do speak German in Austria as well.
Of course.
A little bit different dialect, but.
Well, I know that when folks come off the airplane over at the airport, there's a nice advertisement that says, Erna's Elderberry House.
Yes.
Now, people ask me all the time, I would like to have some great continental food. Where can I go to get some? Well, if you're willing to go a few minutes outside of Fresno, go to Erna's.
It's about a 40-minute drive up the hill.
But it's a gorgeous drive.
It is. It's
wonderful.
Calming, and I think the cows and the meadows, I think it's so nice, that drive. When you think in LA, people go for dinner and on the freeway, fighting traffic.
True.
This is already a little prelude to coming for dinner.
Now, let's talk about what makes Erna's unique. The Elderberry House really unique in terms of the daily and the seasonal menu. Now, you would think it would be more common given that folks refer to the Valley as the breadbasket of the world, but we don't always have restaurants that are as seasonal, and especially daily, your menu changes.
Daily. And our chef, over all the years, our chefs and previous to myself, goes down to the farmers market. We buy all our produce from the farmers of the Central Valley.
And then that's what Taste of the Valley is about in many respects.
Yeah.
It's the farm to fork. What is uniquely Valley? And frankly, with our immigrant culture, with the fact that we have strong European influences in our food, the California cuisine. I like how you refer to it as California European cuisine.
It's grown here and it has a very strong, because I am European influence. Chef and I talk often about the dishes, but I let him have total carte blanche to do his, because he is so good. I can't tell you how proud we are to have Chef Gunnar here.
Oh, and
really.
I got to say, as an eater, I'm really glad that you have Chef Gunnar here too.
Yes.
Because the food was magnificent, and the attention to detail.
Oh, in the old days, people used so much garlic, and everything you taste is garlic.
I'm guilty of that.
Oh, but it's not good for, really, you waste all the other good flavors.
I've also heard when people say, where can I get some great wine? Where is a place that has an exceptional collection of wine? Elderberry House is also brought into the discussion. Tell us a little bit more about your wine collection.
There's so many wineries in California. It's unbelievable. And so many good ones. Well, so you wish you could carry them all. But then, because we're European, we also have very good Bordeaux's and Pinots, and from Austrian wines, of course, and Austria makes great wine. And they all go very well with the food we cook.
And I think you hit on something that is also uniquely Valley. I've had occasion in a former life to be able to eat at some very nice restaurants on the East Coast and abroad, etc.
Yes.
There's one thing is that it can be kind of stuffy.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what we don't want. You can have high-level cuisine, and you can be in a wonderful chateau at the foothills of Yosemite. It doesn't have to be stuffy. And that's what the Elderberry House is not about. It's not about being stuffy at all.
And this is why, when I built this house, it was very important to feel at home. I wanted my guests, when they arrive here, to feel like they came to a home visiting a friend. We have a beautiful spa that we added about 5 years ago. And then we have a private villa that is the ultimate. People say the cat's meow.
The cat's meow.
Well, it's truly beautiful. It's like going to Paris at the turn of the century. Everything is authentic. It's a 2-bedroom house with a salon and library and with butler service.
No detail is overlooked.
No, everything is real. It's like you're in
That's
a home.
neat.
It's not commercial feeling at all.
Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed this portion of Taste of the Valley at Erna's Elderberry House in Oakhurst at the gateway to Yosemite. Erna, thank you so much for opening up your kitchen and your establishment to us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Prost.
Prost.
Stay tuned. We'll be getting some cooking tips from Professor Klaus Tenbergen. Welcome to Taste of Valley. We're joined today by Klaus Tenbergen. Thanks so much for joining us, Klaus. Klaus is the director of the culinology department at Fresno State.
Thanks for having me, Andreas. Today, I'm very excited to share with you one of my favorite dishes, which is a rosemary pork tenderloin, which we're going to top with some brie or camembert, prosciutto, fresh tomatoes, and we're going to serve it with seasonal fresh vegetables and spinach fettuccine.
Fantastic. How do we get started?
Before I forget, we want to make you look like a chef. So,
Oh, Klaus. All
because
right.
it only takes 1 minute to look like a chef, probably 5 minutes to act like one,
All right,
and
folks.
then a lifetime to be one.
You know, I think you look better in this than I do. But,
you.
Anything for Fresno State, right? All right, so we're sharpening the knife, and we have a beautiful pork loin here.
Pork loin, which we're gonna cut in 6 equal pieces. I normally start in the middle, get some nice medallions going. And if you have a little tail over here, it's easy to just fold it over to get equal pieces out of it. So I cut it into 6 equal pieces. That feeds about 3 people, 2 medallions per person. And I simply take them in one of my favorite dishes in the moment, which is a cast iron skillet, and place them in this cast iron skillet with no heat whatsoever.
With no heat.
No heat
You put a little
whatsoever.
oil at in the cast iron skillet.
A little oil to prevent it from sticking, and I place my 6 pieces like so into this cast iron skillet.
Well, as we're preparing this, Klaus, tell me, what exactly is culinology?
Culinology is the blend of food science and culinary arts, and I always like to explain it in a way that we are not teaching a trade, we're teaching a science-based program.
So it's the science of cooking.
It's totally science-based.
Interesting. So we have camembert, or is that brie today?
Camembert or brie, both do. They're pretty similar. They just come from a different region in France. That's how they're known as brie or camembert. And we simply top each of these medallions with a slice of camembert. Just
Now,
like so.
I didn't see you put any salt and pepper on the pork.
No seasoning needed. We want to keep it low in sodium
Okay.
to make it more healthy.
And we have prosciutto here.
Would you please separate that? And each of the pork medallion gets a wrap of
Nice.
prosciutto.
All right.
In the meanwhile, I take our beautiful locally grown wine ripe tomatoes, which we then gonna top each of our medallion with.
All right. So I have the prosciutto over the medallion with the cheese, and just put it right back down.
Perfect.
All right.
And I'm gonna take another cutting board over here. We don't want to cross-contaminate. And I previously washed my tomatoes, which we should always do. If I may grab for a knife.
Now, getting a little bit to your story, Klaus, you're from Germany originally.
I was born in Germany, correct.
And how did you make your way to the States, or did you have an interlude elsewhere?
Before I came to the United States, I went on what is known in Europe as a journeymanship. And I went on a journey to gain the most knowledge from the masters of the world to become one myself.
And you studied international cuisine.
International
Continental
from
cuisine.
Continental, international.
So as we're putting the prosciutto, and you're putting the tomatoes on top. So now that we put the tomatoes on the pork medallions, what do we do next, Klaus?
Before we put it in the preheated oven of 375, we need to make a sauce, a quick sauce. Can you please pass me the secret spices, which consist
what is
of your favorite sodium, a little tiny bit, a little bit sugar. It's got some Parmesan cheese in it as well as some tomato paste.
All right, so we have milk. Was that buttermilk or
It's
cream?
actually heavy cream.
Heavy
a little bit of
cream.
heavy cream, as well as a little bit of water. We're just going to blend it in here, both of them, and just give it a good mix. Now this is going to be our liquid and our sauce. This sauce is going to reduce while the pork is cooking, and we simply pour this inside the pan, making sure it's equally distributed.
I can already tell this is going to be something special. And we pop this one in the oven for about 30 minutes?
30 minutes, 375 preheated oven.
All right, there we go. Well, great. When we come back, we're going to be making our spinach fettuccine and some of our other accompaniments. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're here with Klaus, and we're about ready to get to do something very exciting. People refer to as molecular gastronomy. And Klaus, you're putting in balsamic vinegar, and what is this powder you're putting in?
Thickening agent, which is agar-agar, which is
Agar-agar.
We're going to bring this to a quick boil, and what I prepared in the meanwhile is I took olive oil and I put it in the freezer for half an hour, which is over here
To get it thickened up?
to get it thickened up. Once the balsamic vinegar is at a rolling boil, you remove it from the heat and put it in a separate container, flash maybe or two. Okay. And it's very acidic, as you can tell.
That'll wake you up in the morning.
Then we take a little syringe and we fill the syringe with the balsamic vinegar. If you could hold the glass, please.
Sure.
Just in case. Okay. And you can, you can refill. Tastes good, isn't it? I'm going to get some of the
Love
out.
that agar-agar.
And then we're going to drop it into the olive oil, little droplets one at a time. And these things then to the bottom. As you can see, they will eventually sink to the bottom. And you can do all of the
Unbelievable. The pearls just drop down like little submarines.
Okay, that's probably enough. I'm going to put this aside, and we take clean water and just rinse them. That's right.
There we
here.
go.
You can fish them out, little droplets, and we drop them in the water. Get them out with a spoon.
There we go.
See? Come in here.
Looks like caviar.
Little fish eggs, and you can do this with all different kind of material, not only with balsamic vinegar, but also with beer, with fruit juice. A lot of possibilities here. And then what we're going to do is, if you would hold this for me,
I can do that.
we're going to strain this here, get the water out again, and we're using these little pearlets to then serve with our meal, which is nearly ready and ready to go.
So Klaus, this is where all the magic comes together. We're putting in the spinach fettuccine.
Little spinach fettuccine, which is going to be our starch. And at the same time, I prepared some peppers, beautiful colors in the moment. And I'm just going to saute them in a little tiny touch of olive oil. So that's all we need. A little tiny touch of the good Fresno State olive oil. Would you please give me the pork loins out of the oven? They're ready to go.
Here we go. This is, wow, it smells fantastic.
Okay, so now today we're going to serve family style. What I want to do is I want to move my pork loins onto the plate. And as you can see, the cheese has melted.
But there's still a block of it.
There's still a block of it. That's why the brie is the perfect cheese for this. So we're going to do this, stir our vegetables, and I really give them just a little stir fry. And then if you would like, you can spoon some of the sauce over. The pasta, again, I'm just going to do it al dente.
All right, you tell me how much and when.
Pour it right over the dish. Beautiful. That's plenty. Thank you very much. Our pasta is ready to be drained.
There we go.
Over here. Okay.
You can tell this is a very colorful dish.
cast iron, you want to always be careful because it conducts the heat so well. The handle gets hot very quickly, and you want to make sure that you don't burn yourself. So we place the nice sautéed vegetables on here. If you remember, it's called a rosemary pork loin, and there's no rosemary yet.
Where is the rosemary?
Where is the rosemary? If you would pass it to me, it's right over there. We're just going to put it on, right on over here.
Right there?
And this is something you shouldn't do at home. You would please pass me the tea. The tea
This
is
is
jasmine tea.
Jasmine tea?
And as you know, we not only eat with our eyes, but we also smell what we eat.
So we put it in here.
If you pour it into the rosemary. Now, one of the secrets is, if you can see.
Oh, wow.
One of the secrets is there's dried ice on the bottom of this. And so when you serve this, it looks dramatic. Then the last but not least, we're going to take our pearl balsamic pearls over here. And we can set them throughout the dish so everybody can grab one. And then you take this and you sprinkle it over your vegetables, which gives the additional seasoning. And everybody can help themselves. Little vegetable, little pasta. Oops, here we go. One of the beautiful medallions. And one of the caviars.
All right. You were so right about not eating salt. You got the salt from the cheese and the salt from the prosciutto. Comes out perfect.
Good.
Oh, this has been a pleasure. Thanks so much, Klaus.
Thanks for having me.
This episode of Taste of the Valley has been brought to you by Fresno Distributing. Easy as 1, 2, 3, Fresno D.